flowchart of Pichu right there. Jackal was really just pressing buttons, and he was making it work.
Indeed.
And here we have Shoyo James hopping back on against Jin right now. This is losers quarterfinals. Very surprised to see both of these players playing in quarterfinals, if I'm being quite honest. Like Jin, of course, just winning every single Xeno. All of these new stack Xenos as well. They regularly get about as much entrance as this New Jersey Monthly has on the regular every week. About 140-something entrance every single week, consistently since the game came out.
New York is feeding, man. That's how we are.
Yeah, no, it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And Jin at the forefront of that, winning those tournaments, but Shoyo James as well. Getting back into the game with his new sponsor as well. Just slowly but surely doing what he needs to do right now. But I'm just saying, I'm very surprised to see these two forefront players playing so early. But regardless, that is the case. Palutena is the character from Jin right here, right now. This is his patented main. He's been saying he wanted to main this character since, let's just say, day 0. Yeah. We all know what it is.
Yeah, but listen, if you tried pegging this as the match that would take place in grand finals, winter finals, what have you, I wouldn't put it past you.
No.
They both have had immaculate track records coming into this tournament. And we're even seeing good play of it just in this set alone, are already tying things up. But it's a really good showing of, I think, where like a top level player's mind sits on a game right now. Because these are two characters that are very popular in the local meta, very popular across the US. They're characters that are regarded to have really solid tools, and also the fact that they can just play the game very basically. Chrom hits hard, Palutena hits often. They both offer a lot differently as far as movement's concerned. So it's nice to see these two different like mindsets of characters clash at this level of play.
Absolutely. These two top tiers that we have right now can both be played in flowcharty and non-flowcharty ways. You're going to be seeing them do what they want to do. You saw that up smash is going to be able to take the stock. One wonderful combo from Jin. It was just down throw to a neutral air, to a forward air, to a dash attack. Just, you know, bread and butter Palutena stuff, getting what he needs to do. But then you're going to see him doing up smashes in neutral like that, which is sort of more of a ballsier option from Palutena players right there. That move is, despite her putting up a literal giant wall in front of her, has quite the amount of end lag on it as well. And he just knew where James was going to be and just called him out on it. Just really goes to show this man's character knowledge towards his character right there. Just such a risky option. But speaking of character knowledge, Shoyo James knows that his character is amazing at the ledge with those traps right there. F-tilting him by the ledge right there at only 100% able to take that stock away from Jin. Shoyo James down, but of course not out.
Well, certainly not, especially while these up air strings continue further. And just like that, deficit gone. And if that forward smash managed to hit, that would have been the end of it. But we're not there just yet. Once again, fishing for it. And I don't blame James. There's such a small amount of end lag on that forward smash. Like, he's got the world to win when he's come swinging like that. And we haven't seen Jen really punish him for it either.
And both these characters, one thing they have in common, not even going to be able to get the chance myself, Shoyo James taking that first game with Chrom right there, is that they both have counters as well. But the difference between these two players right now is that Chrom's recovery, of course, has a physical hitbox that is going to be caught from below right there that Palutena will be able to counter. Palutena's is a teleport one instead. If he suspects that he's going to counter instead, then Jin might be able to just find some other way to be able to maneuver that right there. Palutena's mobility, arguably a little bit better than Chrom's in that regard, or off-stage presence at the very least. Anyway, James is not going to care about that. James, as he tags himself right here, it's going to go up 1-0 against Jin right now, taking one more stock to advance further in the bracket.
I'm curious to see what developments occur during this set, because I feel like the individual games are going to be very fast, especially the stocks. The way that both of these characters kill each other, they're just sort of going to explode. So there's not going to be a lot of time in between resetting the neutral of these characters. The ledge play is going to be fast and brutal, and they're going to find their opportunities to punish, and they're going to have to make the most of it immediately.
Absolutely. I'm really anxious to see like how these guys develop if this potentially, and I can very easily see it going to a game 5 as well between these two remarkable players, how they're going to be able to do it, if they're going to speed their process up, if they're going to slow down, like probably slow down, because I feel like, you know, that's what most how most of these sets go. When like they get last stock, last hit, they start to really respect each other. It gets feels, yeah, you know, just you feel like the cluster ball, as you call it, like both of these guys just trying to hit each other, kill each other, you know, that tense moment. But that's a situation that we might not even see happen. This could very well be a 3-0 for James, is all we know, or potentially like a reverse 3-0 for Jin. We don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But just as I say that, it looks like they're both already slowing down. The first stock finally taken after a minute and 15 seconds of gameplay.
But plenty of percentage built up onto James here from Jen. It's a matter of how well is he able to control the ledge. Not quite sure what Jen was going to go for. Nonetheless, he's going to be threatening space ever more. Catches it with the explosive flame. Really good timing on it. And just like that, back down to the 2 stocks tie. I have a feeling we're going to see this often across the games, regardless if it's 3, 4, or possibly 5.
Up tilt, not going to be able to reach just through the shield right there. LPI shield able to tag on that damage, make it even, just getting even more with that side B right here. This is just a slobber knocker between these 2 players right now. There's really like not even one dominant force between either of these guys right now. No giant combo strings. These guys are really just going tit for tat. Literally, look at this percent differential right now. It's not even 1%. It's like a decimal amount of percent right now between these guys. Both of these guys just slugging it out right now. No dominant either one. Both of them just swinging at each other, trying to find an opening. Jen is going to be able to do it right there, but Shoyo James crossing him up with the dash right there, able to toss him off, get him off stage again, trying to get some sort of kill confirm off of a jab right there, which Chrom actually does have as a character. He can get jab to forward air, jab to back air. Unfortunately, he was just the spacing was just a little off cult over him as Jen was going to be able to hang back, and that back air actually going to make Jen be the one to go up 2-1 over Shoyo James right now in terms of stocks right now. And just as I say that, forward smash, not for long.
You know, there's one little thing I want to highlight that occurred a little earlier into the second stocks. We saw Jen react to Aether with his counter. And you had mentioned this earlier about how counter could be used for trying to punish the up B. However, it was Jen, in fact, who was punished for countering, just based off of how Aether swings. Very strange interaction, but it's something to keep in the back of the mind that Jen has to be a lot more tricky with how he's going to try to edge guard James, because James has been able to return to the ledge very safely these past few interactions. And I think it's one of those signs where it's like Palutena's tools aren't the best for this particular type of ledge coverage. We've seen Explosive Flame come in clutch, but one move is not an edge guard make.
Of course, yeah. Even like a move as amazing as Explosive Flame, you're going to need a little more than that to be able to gimp a Chrom as proficient as Shoyo James. And even just right there, getting that air dodge, he's really being so clutch with his approaches back on stage when you really think about it. And there you go, that could be game. And no, the back air not going to be able to do it, just barely not finishing out the stock right there. A little more percent would, and James just going off stage for no real seeming apparent reason. Jen and James both actually rolling their eyes.
Yeah, no, they both had a bit of a reaction to that. That was kind of something.
Yeah, James just seemingly overextending right there. I don't know exactly what was going through his mind right there, but that was one of the situations where I actually slightly disagree with what you were saying, because I feel like Palutena at least has her counter is going to be able to hit Chrom's recovery on the way up. Whereas,
yeah, it seems like
Palutena doesn't have a hitbox for like Chrom to be able to do that, you know?
Right. I feel like it's a timing thing, because earlier Jen got punished for it, and it was more towards the startup of it, which would explain it, because Chrom has that initial slash before he rises up with his sword. But as we saw at the end of that game for Jen winning.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with the Unova counter pick.
I like this stage.
My dude James trying to cheese him.
It's gonna be an interesting one to play around, just because Jen has to be a lot more linear with his recoveries now. I hope for his sake that the platforms come into play, because otherwise this is going to be a very free game 3 for James.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, it's a relatively smaller size stage as well. As you did correct me earlier on today, this is the smallest the legal stages that we have in this particular tournament rule set right now. So that's definitely something that's going to benefit Chrom in this matchup just a lot more, because Chrom just pretty much half of her, like even more, probably more than half of those moveset kills, F-tilt kills, up air kills, back air kills, you know, jab to back air kills, you know, just back air kills, raw forward smash. I'm not going to go on. I could go on, but I'm not going to right here. That's just going to benefit a character as powerful as Chrom a lot more than Palutena. That and Palutena on like smaller stages. Not that Palu is a zoner. She really isn't at her core. She has a lot of really good zoning tools. She's sort of like a half zoner, half footsies, you know, brawler if you would, in my opinion. But or like a half grappler. This character's a Bowser, a DK, a Mario, and a sword fighter all in one. But Explosive Flame, you're probably not going to be seeing that the kind of stuff in neutral very often. And even if Jen is going to be able to get a back throw or a forward air that could potentially combo into it, that back throw is going to be able to take the stock right there. Because if James reads or reacts to that, which he easily can because Explosive Flame is one of the most visually reactive moves in the game. Chrom is not only powerful enough of a character, he's fast enough of a character to be able to react to that and then just run up and grab Palutena for it. It's not a safe move to do on a stage this small. So I just think that's another one of those little niche things that's just going to make this stage quite the good counterpick for James. I actually really like Unova as a counterpick. I agree with you in that regard.
It's so good for certain characters, and there's a lot of aspects of the stage that Jen is forced to funnel a lot of his play. Like, his movement is not nearly as varied. We don't see him approaching from the air as much. Like, there's a true bottleneck in how he has to approach this matchup, and I feel because of that, James is able to take advantage so heavily of Jen. Jen already down to his last stock, and James has not shown any signs of slowing down at this point.
Yeah. And you definitely saw what Jen was trying to do before he died on that stock right there. He was even trying to teleport, he was trying to warp cancel off the side of the ledge right there, potentially get a back air or something, but even that didn't matter. James was just able to space around that and get that up tilt when he needed it to be able to finish out the stock. Just covers his the entire top half of the character when he does that. So just the space on this stage, I feel like it's just going to benefit Chrom so much more, not even just with the power, but just with like the hitbox, the raw hitbox sizes that this character has in order to get those kills as well. So I would be very surprised if Jen is able to take this game and come back, and it would also be very huge for him against James if he's able to do that and go up 2-1. But it's looking like that's going to happen for James, shoving that sword in all sorts of places to be able to win this game 3.
Thundercats, my man. Threw it right on up. And I've got a feeling Jen's not going to want to run it back on that stage. Just a hunch, a minor hunch.
Yeah, we're going right back to Pokemon. Like,
no reason not to, man. That was rough doing. So rough, in fact, that it's forced Jen off of his Palutena. He's opting for the Fox in Game 4 here on Pokemon Stadium. I'm actually really curious to see how this is going to impact the dynamic, just because we know that Chrom can swing often, hard, a lot of ways that are going to stop an aggressive character like Fox.
Yeah, well, Fendi, I mean, if there's one thing that we're not going to be able to see is that this ain't melee. There aren't going to be no chain grabs from this Marth descendant on this Fox right now, so that's not going to be something we're going to be seeing for sure. But this all-green Fox on this all-green stage, it's definitely going to be very interesting. I guess he feels like he just wants a smaller, more mobile character to really just be able to get in on this guy a little bit more. Or maybe he just feels like Palutena is just such a common character at this stage in the game that James is just going to know what to do. Or maybe he's just not feeling Palutena right now. I don't know, but he's definitely feeling his secondary right now. His secondary was able to take out a player as proficient as Maverick Hunter, so definitely has all means to have faith in his Fox right now. But I'm pretty anxious to see what he's going to be able to do, as he already has a lead on James right now in terms of percent.
Yeah, I think it's just the aspect that Jen could not move in Game 3. He was not allowed, and because of that, he struggled so much. Now, he's got a lot more room to breathe, and he's with a lot more mobile of a character. We're already seeing a lead come out from the Fox. And I feel like if he stays mobile, he's going to be able to keep the trades of stocks in his favor. He just has to watch the trades as far as attacks go, because trading for damage with Chrom is really difficult. He only needs a couple of hits to make up what Fox can do in a minor combo.
But is that really the matchup in terms of like the character matchup or the player matchup, or is that the fact that he was just fighting James on a really good stage for Chrom as well? Is it really the Palutena that was the problem, or was it just the stage pick right there that he wound up not banning against James? I don't know, but we're going to see if this Fox is going to be able to work out for him. I mean, he ain't dead yet, and he's already got this game relatively even right now, only about a 30% differential, so we're going to see if Jen is going to be able to do this here. Air dodging back on, trying to get a back air right there, but actually back airing the other way. I think he did that was weird. He did like a double roar right there, if you could even call it that. Is that far tilt? Going to be able to take the stock. Jen now on his final tournament stock right now. Not looking too pretty for this man right now, but if he's able to take the stock, he could even it out right and quick.
Yeah, it's hard doing just because he can't play in shield safely, because we see James pressure shield really well. He can't challenge hitbox just because the sword goes out so far. I feel like Jen is going to have to bait in James to misposition himself, win out the trade. First and foremost, he has to end this stock. Up smash is going to take care of that. But now it's a matter of, can Jen position himself right? Because this entire Game 4, James is boxed outwards from center stage, and it's made it a nightmare for Jen to try and combo.
Absolutely. James already down to his last stock as well. This is Fox McCloud at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. This character is capable of just so much, especially in this game with his neutral air, which is, you know, the same move that we've all known and loved, but is now even better with the general reduced landing lag that we have in this game, among other things. It does combo into itself, does combo into up smash as well, you know, which we're probably going to be seeing coming out from Jen if he's able to get Shoyo James up to kill percent, which he is looking for right now. He's fighting with all of his might, all of his muster right now. This guy wants to keep his momentum going. He doesn't want to say it's just New York that I can win these huge tournaments in, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to prove that just today. Shoyo James taking that set cleanly, actually 3-1 over Jen right there, advancing to loser semis, guaranteed at least 4th place.
It was very well played for him. I'm curious why Jen went for the side B, because that's what spelled disaster for him in the end. He just sort of like